Hi there, I got kind of a nice day today. About 70 degrees, not much of a breeze, but enough hopefully to keep some of the bugs away. Gonna do the front brake pads and rotors on my 2006 Chrysler 300. You can see I've already got the tire off. And I've got my new pads, my new rotors. And a good rule of thumb with the rotors is they have like a sticky stuff on them that keeps them from rusting, like any kind of little damp moisture. So you want to buy some brake cleaner, brake parts cleaner. I've used carburetor cleaner and stuff like that before if I'm out, but basically you know soak a rag down, you wipe it, wash it really good, and that'll dry while you're doing the work. Usually what I do is I wait till I get the caliper off so I can verify my pads are correct and my rotors, everything, the right parts. So now that I've got the wheel off, as you can see, there's two bolts, caliper bolts. One here and one down here. It's a 1/2-inch socket. Sometimes with these an impact socket's the best because it's, you know, nice and strong, but if they don't come off too bad, it's not gonna be that hard. But let's see if we can now get this to get a good view so I'm out of the way while I'm working. Also brought a 1/2-inch breaker bar just in case. All right. That one came loose, good. Not too bad, wow. Being a 2006, I would have thought these would have came off a lot harder. There's the two caliper bolts. Now I need my screwdriver. Either that or a good pry bar. It's a good sturdy screwdriver though. Get it started down there. Get it started. Kind of work it back and forth, depending on how bad your rotors are. How much of a lip, because a lot of times on this part right here, the rust builds up really bad. The outer one is almost flush. The inside has, a few millimeter build up. So hopefully it won't be too bad. It looks like it's coming off pretty easy. Don't want to jinx myself. Okay, that's called your caliper. Caliper piston. That's where the caliper bolts went. So for anybody that doesn't know how brakes work, you have your two pads that sit in like this, and the rotor rides in between. When you're not pushing on the brakes, they're just really barely touching. As soon as you press the brakes, this piston pushes out, and on the caliper bolts here, on the slide here, it allows it to squeeze together so you're not pushing from one side. What can happen when this piston gets stuck, when it tries to go, it'll press on one side or the other, and you can get just one side wearing. But anyway, we won't go too much bore you with those details, but I just wanted to kind of give you a basic understanding of it. People can rebuild these, but usually you can get remanufactured ones, not too bad. Anyway, this one looks really good. I mean, there's no rust buildup. I mean, it's dirty, but other than that, it's pretty good. So I usually like to kind of find a safe place for it, where it's not going to pull on the cable too much. Okay, now get the pads off. The one old pad. Now we're going to compare, and it's the same pad, so that one actually got quite a bit of meat on it. So now we've got two more bolts. Let me show you those. See if you can see them right here. And that's going to get the caliper bracket off, and then that way I can get my rotor off. And I'll show you the rotor when we get it out, but this side a little thin, it's got a little bit of a lip. So that could mean that, you know, part of this is sticking a little bit, but it's not too bad. So okay, had to go get a 18mm to fit the caliper bracket. I guessed the wrong size. Alright. Whew, that's on there good. Sometimes on these bolts, if you have a hard time getting them out, get you some WD-40 or, you know, there's different brands anyway, and spray it some penetrating oil fluid, and leave it for, you know, 5-10 minutes or whatever. Might make all the difference in the world. Save you some busted knuckles. So there's one of those. Now to go for the second one. Alright, now let's get the second one. Okay, that one's hard. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so there's the caliper bracket. Now we can pull the rotor off. Which, as you can see, it didn't look too bad. But I was getting a little pulsating, which I think I'm going to find more on the other side, maybe a little worse, but pads weren't too bad. Alright, I'm going to go grab the new rotor and pads, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's the new rotor. I'm going to spray some brake clean on it. Just take a cloth, wipe it off. Let me bring that up close so you can see it. It almost looks like rust right there. Maybe it wasn't covered good, or we'll clean it real good and see. Sometimes that's just that stuff to keep it from rusting. Yep, that's all it was. Came right off. Just had to add a little more. And of course, once you get it clean, try not to touch this surface and get dirt and grime on it. And there we go. Nice, clean, brand new rotor. Now let's go put it on the vehicle. Now if you have a hard time, you can see how it wants to flop, but as long as you kind of hold things, get the bracket on, you should be okay. But some people will take a lug nut or two and screw on just to hold it into place. You know, I mean, you don't have to go real tight, just finger tight, but okay. So here's probably my problem that I'm going to have to fix. See how this pin, the caliper bolt, how that moves in and out? That's that flex I was talking about. When you press your brakes, this allows both sides to squeeze instead of just one. Well, if you notice, this one's solid. It's not moving. So it's got a rubber boot on it. What I'm going to do is go spray it with some of that brake clean and just tap it and see if it'll get going in, and then I'll work it back and forth and get it to free up. So I'll be right back. Okay, I got the caliper bolt. They're free now, so they push in and out. Now we're going to put everything back together. Okay, so there, now we've got the rotor, we got the caliper bracket with the caliper bolts in, caliper bracket bolts. Now, get the caliper, and what I always like to do, you have to push this piston back. So you'll need a C clamp, as you can see, like a letter C. And I take one of my old pads and I'll just turn it kind of upside down the way it normally goes. And just tighten this and watch for the caliper piston. It should go back flush. Oh, it'll only go so far anyway, and then you can just stop. But these right here fit perfect in that little hole, and that should just slide right in. You want to square off your rotor again. Okay, that's the left side done. Now I'm going to put the wheel back on and go to the other side. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.